Some Washington quarters are incredibly rare and valuable, and they could be sitting unnoticed in your pocket change or coin jar right now. We're diving into the top 5 most rare and valuable Washington quarter dollars. These coins aren't just old, they're treasures that collectors all over the world are hunting for. From key dates with extremely low mintages to dramatic mint errors that slipped past quality control. The rare 1983p Washington quarter dollar reveal the jaw-dropping auction results and teach you how to spot the fortune hidden in your pocket change. 1983 was a major year for U.S. coins and particularly for the Washington quarter. Here's why: no U.S. mint sets were issued in 1982 or 1983 due to cost cutting. This means very few uncirculated 1983p quarters were saved. The Philadelphia Mint struck over 673 million quarters that year, but only a tiny fraction survive in mint condition. Double die obverse DDO. $500, $50,000 plus double die obverse errors happen when the coin die itself was misaligned during production. Off-center strike error. $200, $7,000 plus. Examples with 60% off-center and visible date have sold for over $6,000. Missing clad layer error. $1,000, $10,000 plus. These have sold for $3,000 to $9,000 depending on grade and condition. Wrong planchette error. $5,000, $150,000 plus. Broad strike error. $150 to $1,500. Clipped planchette error. $100, $1,800. Reverse die break major cut. $300 for $1,000. Real auction prices proof that these coins. Let's take a look at real-world 1983p error coin sales. 1983p off-center quarter 50%, sold for $4,750. 1983p missing clad layer AU58, sold for $6,800. 1983p double die MS65, sold for $12,500. 1983p on wrong planchette 1 copper, estimated value $80,000 plus. 1983p broad strike MS66, sold for $1,850. These are real money being paid at major auctions. And the demand is only going up. How to identify 1983p errors like a pro? Use these tools and tips to search your quarters. Essential tools: 10x or 30x magnifying glass. Digital coin scale accurate to 0.01 grams. Bright LED light. Soft gloves. Reference error guides. What to look for: any coin that looks off-center, oddly colored, or lighter than normal. Doubling in the date, lettering, or motto. Flat rims, wide flanges, or melted-looking edges. Clipping, cracking, or blobs in the metal. Get it graded to maximize your value. If you suspect you have a rare 1983p error quarter, send it to a professional grading service like PCGS Professional Coin Grading Service, NGC Numismatic Guarantee Company. Grading confirms authenticity, describes and classifies errors. Significantly raises resale value, protects your investment. A graded MS65 error coin can be worth 10x more than an ungraded one. The 1982p Washington quarter dollar might look ordinary, but a hidden error could make it one of the most valuable modern quarters ever struck. Stick around as we reveal the top errors, how to spot them, and real-world auction prices that will blow your mind. The year 1982 was a turning point in U.S. coinage. Due to economic pressure and rising metal prices, the U.S. Mint was making subtle and major changes. This was also the time they were cutting costs by reducing the use of mint sets, meaning fewer high-grade coins were saved by collectors. Double die obverse DDO, $1,000, $50,000 plus. Some of these have fetched $10,000 to $30,000 at auction, and in pristine MS66 or higher, $50,000 is possible. Off-center strike error, $200, $5,000 plus. 5 to 10% off-center, $100 at $300, 40 to 60% off-center with full date, $3,000 plus. Over 75% off-center with clear features, $5,000 or more. Missing clad layer, $500, $7,500 plus. These coins have sold for $1,500, $7,500, and some experts believe a perfect example could fetch $15,000 plus. Wrong planchette error, $2,000, $100,000 plus. The most valuable of these coins can bring $20,000, $100,000, depending on the metal and rarity. Broad strike or partial color strike, $300 at $3,000. Clipped planchette error, $100, $1,500. Recent auction prices and market buzz. Let's check some real-world sales to show just how hot this coin is. 1980 to P off-center 50% strike, sold for $3,250. 1980 to P missing clad layer, MS64, sold for $4,900. 1980 to pence double die obverse, MS65, sold for $9,800. 1980 to P struck on a foreign planchette, estimated at $65,000 plus. Broad strike, uncirculated, sold for $2,700. With collector demand rising and fewer 1982 mint sets out there, high-quality error coins are skyrocketing in value. How to identify these valuable errors? Examine lettering and date. Look for doubling or distortions. Check the weight. A normal quarter weighs 5.67 grams. If yours weighs less or more, check for planchette issues. Edge color. Is it coppery? Could be a missing clad layer. Size and shape. Oddly shaped coins may be broad-struck or clipped. Listen to the coin. Coins with missing layers or different metals sound duller when dropped. Essential tools for coin hunters: 10x-30x magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe. Digital scale accurate to 0.01 grams. Error coin reference guides. You spot a visible error. The coin is in uncirculated condition. You suspect it's struck on the wrong planchette or missing clad layer. 1981 P Washington Quarter Dollar, exploring the rarest errors, the history behind the coin, and showing you exactly what to look for. You could be one coin away from an incredible payday. Stay tuned. The Washington Quarter was first issued in 1932 to commemorate the 200th birthday of George Washington. It was meant to be a one-year design, but it proved so popular that it became the standard quarter design for decades. How to identify a 1981 P quarter? Here's what you need to know about the regular strike 1981 P Washington Quarter. Obverse front, portrait of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan. Reverse back, bald eagle with outstretched wings, perched on a bundle of arrows. Mint mark. The P mint mark for Philadelphia is located on the obverse to the right of Washington's ponytail. Metal composition: 91.67% copper, 8.33% nickel clad over copper. Weight: 5.67 grams. While most of these coins are only worth face value, a small number contain rare errors that make them incredibly valuable. Off-center strike error: $500 to $5,000 plus or more with dramatic misalignment, 5 to 10% off-center, $100 $300, 20 to 40% off-center, $1,000 plus. Double die obverse DDO, $1,000, $50,000 plus. In high-grade MS66 plus, a strong double die 1981 P quarter could easily sell for $10,000, $50,000 or more. Broad strike error: $500, $3,000 plus. Missing clad layer error: $1,000, $7,000 plus, struck on the wrong planchette. $1 to $1,000, $100,000 plus depending on planchette. Record-breaking sales of 1981 P error quarters. Let's take a look at some actual sales and auction results that showcase the real-world value of these coins. 1981 P quarter with dramatic off-center error and full date, sold for $3,500. Double die 1981 P quarter in MS65, sold for $12,000. Struck on foreign planchette Philippine 25 centavo, sold for $65,000. Broad strike with strong strike and luster sold for $2,800. Missing clad layer, mint state sold for $4,400. Imagine finding one of these in your change life-changing money from a 25 coin. That right, a single quarter from 1979 D Washington Quarter Dollar could change your life. And today, I'm going to show you exactly what makes this coin so incredibly rare and valuable. The Washington Quarter was first minted in 1932, originally intended as a one-year commemorative coin for George Washington's 200th birthday. However, due to its popularity, it became a regular issue coin, continuing on for decades with minor design changes. Off-center strike 10 to 90%. 5 to 10% off-center, $50 to $150, 50% off-center, showing full date, ND. $5,000, $10,000, double die obverse DDO. Mild doubling, $500 to $1,000. Strong doubling, $10,000, $30,000 plus. Clipped planchette error. Clean clip with visible date. D mint mark, $1,000, $3,000. Major clip with eye appeal, $5,000 plus. Wrong planchette error. Quarter struck on a penny blank, $10,000, $50,000. Quarter struck on foreign planchette, $50,000, $150,000. Auction prices and market value. The market for error coins, especially Washington quarters, has exploded in recent years. Let's look at some real auction results for 1979 D error quarters. 1979 D quarter on a copper penny planchette, 3.1 grams. Sold for $48,875 at Heritage Auctions. Graded MS65 by PCGS, 1979 D quarter struck on dime planchette to point to grams. Sold for $10,500, off-center 1979 D quarter with 70% strike. Sold for $15,000, perfect off-center with visible date and full details. Double die obverse error, authenticated by NGC. Estimated at $25,000, $40,000, depending on condition. What makes these coins sell for so much? How to identify a high-value 1979 D error. Here's a step-by-step checklist to help you spot these valuable errors. Look at the mint mark. Make sure your coin has a D mint mark for Denver. Located to the right of Washington's ponytail. Check the weight. Use a digital scale. A normal quarter should weigh 5.67 grams. If it's significantly lighter or heavier, it may be struck on the wrong planchette. Inspect the coin edges. Look for partial colors, a sign of a striking issue. A clean cut or crescent shape could indicate a clipped planchette. Step 4. Use a magnifying glass. We're diving deep into the 1966 Washington Quarter dollar. Explore the fascinating errors that make them valuable and teach you how to spot these hidden gems. So, grab your coin collection and let's dive into the world of rare quarters. The 1966 Washington Quarter holds a unique place in U.S. coinage history. Here's why. Transition from silver to clad composition. The Coinage Act of 1965 eliminated silver from dimes and quarters, introducing a copper-nickel clad composition starting in 1965. The 1966 quarter was part of this significant transition. N.Wikipedia.org. Double die reverse DDR $100 to $1,000 plus. Off-center strike $50, $500 plus. Struck through errors $20 to $100 plus. Clipped planchette $30, $150 plus. Broad strike error $50 to $150 plus. Real auction prices proof that these coins. Let's look at some real-world sales. 1966 quarter MS68 Plus sold for $21,000 at Heritage Auctions in 2023. Opening parenthesis Gainesvillecoins.com. 1966 SMS quarter SB68 DCAM sold for $6,500. 1966 quarter with DD are in XF for $5. Sold for $920. These sales demonstrate the high demand and value of rare 1966 quarters. How to identify 1966 quarter errors like a pro. Essential tools, magnifying glass, to spot minute details and errors. Pinterest.com. Digital scale, to check the coin's weight. Deviations can indicate errors. Coin-identifier.com. Coin reference guides, books or online resources to compare and identify errors. What to look for. Doubling. Check for doubled letters or images, especially on the reverse. N.Wikipedia.org. Misalignments. Look for off-center designs or missing elements. Surface anomalies. Identify any unusual marks, impressions, or missing sections. Get it graded to maximize your value. If you believe you have a valuable 1966 quarter, professional grading. Submit your coin to reputable grading services like PCGS or NGC. Authentication. Grading confirms the coin's authenticity and condition, increasing its market value. Protection. Graded coins are encapsulated, preserving their condition.